Hello, this is the Sound Hack Make Noise Morphagene. This is the Sound Hack Make Noise Morphagene. Oh yeah. Dark. Nice. So the Morphagene is fundamentally a sampler module. We record sound into it and we basically scramble it and mess it up. The principles of how it does that are more akin to a tape studio. Honestly, it's more like having a kind of 21st century, 1960s tape studio in a modular format. You can record audio into it and then scramble, cut up, slice and reorder it in the same way that you would if you were in the 60s. You would take tape, cut it into little pieces and then reorder those pieces. You can just do that in real time effectively using control voltages to control the organization of the pieces. But we can also speed things up and slow things down. We can do time stretching, and then in a nod to the 21st century, we can also do kind of granular stuff where you can really shatter and tear apart the concept of time using this thing. But fundamentally, it's a sampler. So you record things into it and your scrambled new sound comes out. Record scratch. You can also totally use Morphagene as a real-time effect as well, like a kind of super complex delay. Make Noise call this time lag accumulation. I'll put a link to a video that Walker at Make Noise did about this. It turns this into a trippy delay. You can kind of pitch shift into all kinds of crazy, mad, shattery time type things. Try it. And by the way, now I'm here from the future, I also never mentioned what quality it records at internally. Morphagene records 48 kHz, 32-bit WAV files, and reels with the new firmware can be up to 87 seconds long. But that's all well and good. You still haven't heard how it works yet. So how does it work, mate? How it works is that we have to first record something. So there's a little SD card, micro SD, that comes with it that has nothing at all on it. And what you need to do is turn the little sound on sound knob all the way to the left. I can actually hear my input signal. And if I turn it all the way to the right, I'll hear what's playing back. So all the way to the left, you can see that my signal's coming in, and I'm going to hit record. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, this thing is ace. 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, this thing is ace. And so I have a number of controls. I have 4, in fact. Gene size, slide, morph, and organize, and also this vary speed control. What are these? So I'll move back to the loop. The first one is vary speed. That's controlling the rate.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, this thing is ace.
I can go up
1, 2, 3,
high
4,
speed.
5. Oh yeah, this thing is
in forward direction, slow down. 1, 2, 3. And then I can, in a central position, stop time, and then go in reverse. The key thing here is that when you get it just in the right little nubbin, this thing is ace. This is now showing me that it's green. That means that I'm going forward at the natural speed. So, John Peel fans, bear that in mind. So the principle is that I can break sound up into slices, or splices as they would call it, which would be the equivalent of chopping a piece of tape. Oh yeah, this thing. And while it's playing back, I can just hit the splice button and create splices. 3, 4, 5. Oh yeah, this thing is ace. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now it's looping within this new splice I created. 1, 2, 3. If I shift the organize control, once that splice is finished, it will start playing the next splice. Yeah, this thing is ace. 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 And so in this way, we can record a load of sound in and then use splices to denote sections of it. And then we can loop within those sections, to loop within that. But then that looping window currently, because I've got all of these dials to the left, it's just playing the whole slice. But I don't have to do that. I can change the gene size. So what it's doing is just playing a tiny little sliver from the start. But that beginning point, you know, you're basically squishing down, so you're playing like a granular amount. And we go up to nothing. However, the start point is slide. The term slide refers to kind of sliding the playhead, as it were. So you can get really granular. All that stuff. And then this morph control is an interesting one. What that's effectively doing is creating loops upon loops, copies, which it's offset very slightly, which has the effect of kind of smearing the sound. Create this kind of blurred smear. And then when morph control is completely off to the right-hand side, it starts putting kind of octave shifted versions of the signal back in. And then again, we have organized to shift onto another part of the reel. Nice. Weird. So I can then erase my contents of my reel by going shift and record for a few seconds, 3 seconds in fact. So what we just did was we're able to record a sound, we're able to slice up our recording into sort of little sections, kind of loops, and then we're able to basically reorder them and then smash them up, kind of granulize them so that they become almost atomic. And you can just make these kind of wonderful textures and then shift around. So let's play around, record some more material, and kind of hear what we can do with it. Nice. So I'm going to loop this nice little bit of violin, which is now captured in. So this is the complete contents of the reel currently. What I'm going to do is put splices into it to basically delineate certain sections I want to be able to jump to. When you have the morph control completely counterclockwise, it leaves a gap in between the playback, and you can then close that gap and then blur it. Nice. And then you hear morph starting to introduce these octave shifted sections. So this is then sliding around that splice. Nice. And then we're still just playing back at the original speed because this is indicated by the fact that the forward window is green. It's telling me that you're playing back at the original pitch. So I can shift that. Nice. It's really nice is the changing of gene size. So let's CV control that. Slow maths as input. I'm using maths as the control source here. Just a slow triangle LFO. Nice. Turning up morph, so I'm trying to get some of those high pitch bits in. Really nice. If I just slide, will I find a nicer part of the loop? And then of course, you noticed I created splices before, so I can then use organize and jump between splices. Nice. So of course, I could be using a control voltage to do what I'm doing with my hand with organize, but if I push the shift button, it will shift, cycle through my splices. So maybe if I give the end of rise output from my maths to the shift control, and since I've got two sides to maths, there's always two sides to maths, maybe I should feed the slide control with a voltage and see what happens. Nice. Nice. So you see, by recording this tiny element of music into Morphagene and applying some voltages, you push, pull, reorganize, shuffle, smash, granularize, and transform in a manner of tape machines of yesteryear in a Eurowacky way. Extremely cool principle here is that we can actually re-record back into the Morphagene. If you hold recoil and then splice, if I take out all of the modulation and then reset the controls so that we're not actually affecting the melody, what's currently playing back was the loop that we created, including all of the modulation we were applying to it. So in this way, you can always record whatever the Morphagene is doing at any one time, which is extremely clever. And then with that loop that I created, I'm able to further mash it up. So I was able to create a loop, record a loop, further mash it up, and what I could then do is re-record that loop into the next splice if I wished, and create derivatives of my recording. And so on. Ace. So here I have a loop coming in from the radio music, which I've already recorded and sequenced using pressure points and the sequential switch to unlock 8 rows of pressure points. So turning the wet dry, you hear the loop. And what I'm doing is just feeding voltage into vari-speed. That, of course, just turns this into a sort of pitchable sampler in that way. And the kind of grain loopiness, I've just kind of set the gene size, morph, and slides, just so it kind of makes a nice rhythm. Wow, 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 wow. However, I can feed a clock into the clock input, into the play input even. And now every time Pamela's workout sends a pulse from here, it'll kind of re-trigger. I've got Echophone on it. That's just the dry signal. So in this way, you can kind of get melodies, and you can make it work better with a drum loop. Take that. loop out again, the clock. That's quite cool. Maybe I should feed maths into that to sweep the gene size. Oh yeah. This is the original source and my chopped up version working together. Dark. Nice. Ace. And with that, I think I'd like to take the Morphagene on a 300-mile journey north. Whereupon, I would like to say, welcome to my parents' house in Yorkshire, and our piano, which belonged to my great-grandmother. This is from 1873. It sounds unbelievably lovely, unfortunately, though I have the worst possible mic set up to record it with. I've got a dynamic mic going into the duct for A119 and then feeding into the Morphagene. But what better object to play around with and just cutting up something that we've just freshly recorded, a real instrument. Check out my Dutch angles. Yeah, baby. Nice. So with this spliced, we get new loops. Such a good trick. So now I'm shifting through splices using the pip slope down here. Nice. So, just does this sensational job of taking a little passage of notes and turning it into this kind of new melody. chopping up what you did, kind of rearranging the notes exactly like you would if you had that on a piece of tape and you snipped it up, but no scissors, no sellotape, no cut fingers. Much safer. Sweet. High-pitched sounds in. Increase gene size, bigger loops. Add some herb there. Oh yeah. That's nice. Use the kind of shimmer on it there. Add a bit of bass sparkle. Bass. Let's try something else. Perhaps we can try and get some sound on sound. So of course we need to blend back in the sound and sound control to hear some of the recorded input. So you see how it works just like a looper, like a looping pedal. Again, I have a super noisy input that I'm feeding it, so I'm doing it a disservice. But feed it something prettier than that, it'll sound high fidelity if you want it to be. We could just leave record on and just keep adding with each pass. And then, of course, we can all the cool scrambling stuff that we've been able to do up to this point. Let's do a really slow sweep of gene size. Slide even. I freaking love that with this. It's super Steve Reichy. Increased morph size, that is, till you get to this kind of beautiful addition of high frequency notes. So awesome on piano. And I think that's kind of the spirit of the Morphagene. You can use it for lots of different stuff. You can use it like a one-shot, but definitely its use here as a kind of creator of a piece of music it feels like one of the most authentic ways to use it. It's certainly in keeping with the context of tape music, the idea that you with your piano and something to make sound you would feed that into your tape machine, you would slice up elements of that and turn bits and pieces for a person who can't really play into a old gestalt piece of music. And of course I could spend all day here and create different sections. I could have different chord progressions stored into different splices and then be jumping between them. But in this instance, the illustration is just how, you can pretty much just fade that in and out. And with a little modulation, that could be a track, Just a question of finding good modulation and having a nice sound source. And an ear for, what you can do with the source material, which, by its nature, is completely infinite. With that, I think we should wash out into a verb.